Imagine waking up to a world where trade wars erupt like wildfires, stock markets plunge like they're in freefall, and global leaders scramble to save face or profit. That's the reality we're facing right now. As of April 4th, 2025, after President Donald Trump unleashed a tariff tsunami that's rocking economies, rattling markets, and reshaping geopolitics. In the last 48 hours, the political and economic landscape has shifted dramatically, and we're here to break it down. No spin, no fluff, just the hard facts and what they mean. Let us start with the bombshell that dropped on April 2nd. Trump's announcement of sweeping new tariffs on US imports. He called it America's Liberation Day, but for the rest of the world, it felt more like a declaration of war. On Wednesday, he slapped a 10% tariff on all US trading partners, effective just after midnight on April 5th, with even steeper levies up to 50% targeting countries like China, Vietnam, and the EU. The Nonpartisan Tax Foundation estimates this could be a $1.8 trillion tax hike for US consumers, slashing imports by over $900 billion in 2025 alone. Global markets reacted instantly. The Dow dropped 1,630 points, or 4%. On Friday, the S&P 500 fell 4.6%, and the FTSE 100 in the UK tanked nearly 5%. Oil prices plunged 7%, and analysts at Oxford Economics warn we could see the slowest global growth since the 2008 financial crisis, barring the COVID peak. China didn't take this lying down. On Friday, April 4th, they retaliated with a 34% tariff on all US goods. Starting April 10th, escalating what's now a full-blown trade war between the world's two largest economies. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, head of the World Trade Organization, called Trump's moves a substantial threat to global trade and growth prospects. The International Monetary Fund's Kristalina Georgieva echoed this, warning of a potential recession or stagflation. JP Morgan upped the odds of a global downturn in 2025 to 60%, while Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, speaking at a conference on Friday, acknowledged the uncertainty but highlighted a resilient U.S. jobs report to 128,000 new jobs in March. Still, he admitted trade policy fears are weighing on businesses and consumers. Politically, this is a high-stakes gamble for Trump. His aides insist the fallout will be promising a stronger U.S. economy in the long run, but economists aren't buying it. Higher inflation and slower growth are already on the horizon, with consumer goods like iPhones potentially jumping $2,300 in price, according to Reuters. Countries like the UK, Canada, and Japan are threatening their own retaliatory measures, while Democratic-led states in the US are suing over Trump's election overhaul orders. In the UK, Business Secretary Jonathan Reynolds said, Labour is still pursuing a trade deal with the US, but won't hesitate to act if talks fail. Meanwhile, China's response has analysts worried about a domino effect, with other nations like Vietnam and the EU possibly joining the tariff tip. But let's not just swallow the establishment narrative. Trump claims these tariffs will bring jobs back and make America great again, but the data suggests otherwise. The Tax Foundation's numbers show us consumers and businesses will bear the brunt, not foreign exporters. And while Trump insists stocks and the economy will boom, global markets tell a different story. $2.5 trillion wiped off Wall Street in just 2 days. Is this really liberation, or is it chaos dressed up as strategy? Some critics, like former Costa Rican President Oscar Arias, have compared Trump to a Roman emperor, suggesting his moves are more about power than progress. On the geopolitical front, the tariffs revealed deeper tensions. Russia, notably absent from Trump's tariff list, might be getting special treatment, possibly linked to a Kremlin envoy's recent White House visit, as NPR suggested. This raises questions. Is Trump prioritizing political alliances over economic logic? Meanwhile, the Israel-Hamas conflict continues unabated, with over 100 killed in Gaza in the first 3 days of 2025, and NATO's Mark Rutte is pressing Russia to end its war in Ukraine. In Asia, Trump's tariffs could disrupt tech giants like Nintendo, which delayed switch to pre-orders in the US to assess the impact. Economically, the fallout is already hitting home. Farmers in Michigan, as NPR reported, are bracing for higher costs and lower exports due to tariffs. Immigration, policy shifts, and rural economic woes. HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s layoffs at the CDC and part of a broader overhaul are adding to domestic uncertainty. And in California, Governor Gavin Newsom's clash with the Trump administration over state policies could deepen the political divide, especially as California's economy, ranked fifth globally, faces new pressures. So, what does this all mean? Politically, Trump's tariffs are a double-edged sword. They could solidify his base by projecting strength, but they risk alienating allies and sparking a recession that could tank his re-election chances. Economically, the world is teetering on a knife edge, with inflation fears, supply chain disruptions, and market volatility threatening stability. But there is a silver lining. The resilience in US job growth and some global hiring rebound suggest economies aren't down for the count yet. Still, the question remains: seal Trump blink, or will this spiral into a global economic crisis? This isn't just about numbers, it's about power, pride, and the future of global order. As of tonight, April 4th, 2025, at 11:48 p.m. PDT, the world is holding its breath. What do you think? Are these tariffs a masterstroke or a disaster? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm dying to hear. If this analysis got you thinking, share it with someone who needs to wake up to what's happening. There's more to come, and we'll keep digging for the truth behind the headlines.